For section 7.4, we're going to look at solving rational equations. In other words, we're going to look at solving equations that involve fractions or rationals. So there's 4 steps when it comes to solving rational equations. The first is to find the domain. Remember, the domain is all the things that x can be. If, after you solve an equation and you get an x that makes one of the denominators 0, that x cannot be part of your solution, because remember, we can't have a 0 on the bottom of a fraction. So it's really important to find the domain to eliminate that possibility. 2, you're going to find the LCD, whatever it is, and then you're going to multiply everything by the LCD, just like we did with complex fractions. All your fractions should cancel at that point, and then you just solve like normal. So for our first example, I want you guys to work out this problem. 2 over x minus 3/2 equals 7 over 2x. So the first thing we need to do is find the domain. And if you remember correctly from our first section, the way that you find the domain is you take each one of these separate denominators and you set them equal to 0. The first denominator is 0, the second denominator is 2, the third denominator is 2x. So you're going to set each one of those equal to 0. Now let's look at these separately. X equals 0. Okay, I know that's one of my limitations. X cannot be 0, because if x is 0, that's going to put a 0 on the bottom of this fraction, and we can't have a 0 on the bottom of this fraction, so that is my domain. That is one of my limitations. 2 equals 0 doesn't even exist. That's not even an equation. 2 doesn't equal 0, it never will. There's no domain from that. 2x equals 0, you actually divide by 2, similar to that one, and you get x equals 0 again, sorry. Meaning that my only domain is x can't be 0. So I can solve this entire thing, and as long as I don't get x equals 0, my answer is okay and legit. My next step is to find the LCD. So between an x, a 2, and a 2x, these are all monomials. So I'm going to look at the numbers first. Between a 2 and a 2, what's the biggest number they can both be? Well, a 2. Between an x and an x, we always want to take the biggest, x1 and x1, so x1. In this case, my LCD is going to be a 2x. So I'm physically going to go into the problem, and I'm going to multiply each and every one of these terms by 2x, each and every one. And remember, we multiply in the numerator. So now as I rewrite this, what I end up with is 4x over x minus 6x over 2 equals 14x over 2x. Now from here, if we did things correctly, all of these fractions should cancel. So in this case, the x's cancel, just leaving me a 4. In this case, 6 divided by 2 actually is just a 3, and then I carry down the x. In this case, the x's cancel, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. And you end up with a linear equation, like from Algebra 1, that you can solve. So for example, we would minus over that 4 and then divide by that negative 3, and x equals negative 1. Now make sure to check your answer with your domain. Our domain said x can be anything we want it to be, but not 0. And that's what we got. We got negative 1, not 0.